Now I got a dog wanting in. Be right back. Hey, Red. Thank you, Eva. How are y'all? Everybody else is asleep. I can't sleep. Oh, that's good, Eva. I'm sorry, Red. I don't mean to make nobody worry. It was just kind of a... It was a shock to us all, let me tell you. Dad had caught a virus Sunday. Yeah, he's like me, though. He has heart troubles. And, thank you, Mary. Uh, Dad's had open heart surgeries. He's had strokes. He's had all sorts of stuff. But he was doing good. Hey, Patty. And, he caught a virus Sunday. Tuesday afternoon, he was feeling better. He was doing pretty good. Then, last night, he told Mom, he said, I'm freezing to death. So Mom doubled up the quilt and doubled up a blanket, put on him. And he told her, he said, I can't breathe. He said, I need to go to my chair. And he was gasping for air. You know, he'd been throwing up that day. So they got him he went to the bathroom and got to his chair. And he told her, he said, this ain't helping. He said, I still can't breathe. He said, I can't breathe. She goes, I'm gonna call an ambulance. And he said, okay. And my dad never says okay. He'll argue about spending that dime. But he told her okay. Well, by the time the ambulance got there, he was he was non-responsive to him, you know. They was trying to talk to him, and he just was looking through them. They get him in the ambulance, so I'm sure he died at home. They get him in the ambulance, and the hospital's not 3 minutes away from where he lives. And by the time he got out of the ambulance, he was gone. The doctor, according to the x-rays, Dad had threw up and it went down his lungs, so he just more or less drowned. So, they call it aspirating. It's drowning. Dad would be 86 years old this coming Sunday. Hey, Abe. Hey, Anthony. Thank y'all. Thank you. Hey, John. Thank you, Wall Street. So anyway, he passed a little after 2 o'clock this morning. Well, is it after midnight? If it's after midnight, it would be yesterday. My dad, bless his heart, he couldn't carry a tune in a bucket if the lid was on it. But he sure did give her a try. And every morning, or every birthday, when I was living at home, he woke me up singing happy birthday. And even after I didn't live at home, he woke me up with a phone call singing happy birthday. So I got to hear happy birthday for 51 years. So, anyway, I want to apologize. There's probably not going to be... I'm just going to face it. There's not going to be videos this week. This may be the last you see of me this week. I don't know. We're having the family... where you receive people and talk to them, all that crap. I don't know what it's called. I have no freaking clue what it's called. Friday from 5 to 7 at Bishop's Funeral Home in McAllister. And Saturday we'll have his funeral at 2. I ain't really awake. I don't know what you call. We're not Catholic. I don't know what you call it. I don't know. Maybe it's called a remembrance. I don't know what it's called. Yeah. Yeah, one of the memorial things. Visitation. Yes, there you go. Thank you. But anyway, we're going to have that. We're having the visitation thing Friday. We're having the funeral Saturday. He'd have been 86 coming Sunday. The only thing I asked my mom is I said, please don't bury him on his birthday. Sorry, y'all. I did get a little bit of rest when I come home. I laid down for a few hours and slept. Uh, Probably 3 hours. So, thank you, Josh. I just, when he called me a week ago for my birthday and was singing me happy birthday, he said, well, happy birthday, baby. And I said, Daddy, I said, I'm 51. I said, I'm not a baby no more. And he started laughing. He said, you'll always be my baby. I'm the baby of the family. He said, you'll always be a baby to me. Y'all, I'll be right back. I gotta find something to get rid of the... Okay, sorry. I had to grab some toilet paper. Thank y'all. I'm not gonna rest for a while, y'all. I'm not. I come on here to have company because everybody else went to sleep. I can't sleep. I laid down and went to sleep earlier. So I actually come on here for some company. I love y'all too. Boy, that's bright over there, isn't it? Oh, is Bumblebee in here? I didn't see him. Oh, I didn't see him. No, he didn't. I tell you what, my mom laughs. All right, y'all see my sense of humor. Uh, I get my sense of humor from my dad. And Mama says I get my giving nature from my dad because she said your daddy'd give everybody the last dime, and I'm the same way. So and she told me, she said your daddy made over. So I'm gonna take that as a compliment. When I was little, I'd say I hope I grow out of it. You know, just being a smart aleck like my daddy. Uh, Now I hope I never grow out of it. I'm gonna switch y'all's view around because y'all, I gotta partake of one of them things I ain't supposed to partake of. You know, one of these things. So I'm gonna switch the view around. But yeah, I come on here to talk to people. I didn't come on here to be alone. I just I'd rather talk to people right now. And sorry about the dog, but my house is a mess. So what have y'all been up to? Ow! What have y'all been up to today? Oh, my whole flippin' house is a mess. I ain't done nothing this week. Oh my goodness. I feel your pain, Patty. And well, today I think we come home about 5 o'clock. Was it 4 o'clock? I don't know. 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. And I laid down for a few hours and went to sleep. I made Kate take care of the goats and chickens. And I told Kate, I said, Kate, I said, honey, I need you to take care of the goats and chickens and pigs for Mama tonight. She said, okay. I gotta go tomorrow because it's cold here. I gotta go tomorrow and find something warm to wear to a funeral. I don't have no dressy clothes for a funeral that's warm. Hey, Trine. So Rick and Kate and I, we gotta go try to find us some clothes. I did, however, today pick out some of the prettiest flowers you ever seen. My daddy would have liked them. And come to find out, Dad had already paid for his burial. He had paid for everything. And he had already picked out his clothes. And I thought, oh my gosh, what did this man pick out for his... He picked out his overalls and one of his good shirts. I loved it. Thanks, Trine. I was afraid, they would... I was afraid... Because so many people want them to wear suits and ties. The suits and ties wasn't my daddy. My daddy is like me. He's a bibbed overalls type person. And that's what my daddy's wearing, is his bibbed overalls. I told Mama, I said he's got to have his cap, because he always had a cap on. So I'm going to try to pick out one of his good caps and put on him. You lost your dad in 94. Yeah, you just never really think about losing them. Your dad passed in 2005. I'm sorry, Red. I'm close with both. I'm close with both my parents. My daddy, even after I'm grown, y'all, I was one of them My daddy can fix it. Yeah, Dad had multiple strokes. He had heart attacks. He never smoked. He never. But yeah, he didn't eat good. He was like me. He was on one of them seafood diets. You seen food and you ate it. Yep, Dad's gonna be in bibbed overalls and a button-up shirt. And the casket he had picked out, y'all, I would not picture my dad picking this out, okay? But the casket he picked out was absolutely gorgeous. It's like a navy blue or a blue steel, I guess. It has baby blue lining with ducks flying above and silver trim. Absolutely gorgeous. And then, of course, he's going to have on his blue overalls. And the flowers that I seen, I looked at them and they kind of reminded you of a faded denim. Not a real faded denim, just kind of like a washed denim. And it's got like 4 different colors of blue in it. It's beautiful. I'll probably take a picture of them and post them on Instagram. Oh man. But yeah, it's it was I could not imagine my daddy picking out something so fancy looking. And I told Mom, I said, I gotta go find something to wear to the funeral. She said, you know, your daddy would just want you to be comfortable. The only thing he'd ask is make sure your butt was covered. And I started laughing. I said, yeah. I said, but I always kept my butt covered anyway. And I was sitting there, I just busted out laughing today. I couldn't help it. Kate was doing something and she bent over and her butt was in the air. And when I was a little kid, I was always turning cartwheels or flipping, doing something. And I can remember Dad saying, dang, get your butt out of the air. Dang, get your butt out of the air. But I forgot what it was Kate was doing, and I just busted out laughing because I could hear my daddy saying, dang, get your butt out of the air. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Patty. But, thank you, Patty. Thank you, Maria. But, Dad was something else. Me and him, I'd go over there, me and him, we'd get in an argument. And I'd look at him, grin, and say, "Okay, Dad, I got your blood pressure up." I said, "I know your heart's ticking. I got to leave now." And he'd just die laughing. And my mama, she'd just say, "You're your daddy's child. You're your daddy's child." Yeah, we are. And Mama was sitting there today, and somebody walked in the door. And you know, before I would have been offended because I'd been saying, "People, you're making me look like a dude." Somebody walked in today and they looked at me and they said, "You look just like your daddy." And I took it as a compliment. I didn't care that they're saying I look like a dude today. But Mama had me calling the family because she said, "You're the only one of us, sister, that can hold composure." She said, "The rest of us lose it." But my mama today, y'all, Mama was the rock today. She just said, "He ain't hurting no more. He's not sick no more." And she's right. I have two brothers that are gone. It's just me and my sister now. One of my brothers is missing. We found his car in the lake with blood all in it, but never found his body. My other brother committed suicide, which was the soldier that committed suicide in 2004. And now it's just me and my sister. So my parents has had it rough. They've lost two kids. And me and my sister are still here. I thought, we just tell them we ain't going nowhere. My mom and dad was married. Hold on, let me think how old my sister is. My mom and dad was married 65 years in April. But April the 9th, my mom and dad was married 65 years. Or was it 66 years? It's 60 something years, y'all. My brain ain't working right. Or maybe it's 67. I don't know. Yeah, they had a really long marriage. Yeah. I kept saying Dad was going to be 87, and Mama said, "No, sister, he'd be 86. His birthday Sunday." I said, "Are you sure?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Are you positive?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Okay." My mom was 16 years old when they got married. And Dad was 19. And then, I think it was a year and 3 months later, they had my sister. And I can't tell you how old she is. They went to a courthouse and got married, so no, I don't have a picture of their wedding. I don't even think they have a picture of their wedding. Now, there's pictures of their 50th wedding anniversary. I'll probably do a remembrance video of my dad. I'll just get a bunch of pictures and put together. I called my dad's baby brother, my Uncle Obin. I called him. I was holding it together pretty good until, I told him, I said, Dad passed away and he lost it. When he lost it, I lost it. He was so upset. He said, yesterday, he said, I had planned on going and seeing your daddy. He said, but I got to messing with the cows. And he said, by the time I got done, he said it was too late. And he said, I didn't do it. So he's beating himself up because he didn't go. I told him, I said, you don't do that. Thank you, Uncle Al. I told him, I said, Uncle Ob, don't beat yourself up. My other uncle, which was really close with my dad, has Alzheimer's. My Uncle Earl. And he called him, let him know. He called crying and hung up the phone. He called 30 minutes later, like he had forgotten he had talked to us. And then he called us 9 times yesterday because he had forgot he had talked to us. So he remembered Dad died, but he forgot that he had talked to us. Thank you very much. Thank you, Angel. I guess I need to scroll and... But he remembered us telling him that Dad had passed away. But he forgot that he had called and told us if there was anything that we needed to call him. So he called 9 times to let us know if there's anything we needed to call him. And him and my daddy look so much alike. It's going to be so hard looking at my Uncle Earl and not seeing my dad. I don't know how people deal with losing their dads and their moms. Because I was always daddy's little girl. The day my mom brought me home from the hospital, my dad went wolf hunting that night. And who do you think he took with him wolf hunting? 3 days old, y'all. I was out in that field wolf hunting with my daddy. They'd sit around the campfire, all the guys would, and they'd just pass me around. But my daddy started taking me hunting at 3 days old. So if somebody says, well, do you hunt? I've hunted all my life. Literally. But Mama said, you can't take that baby out in that. She said, she'll freeze. He says, I got plenty of blankets. And we'll keep her by the fire. Mama said he gathered up bottles. He is a gathering up diapers. He's gathering up bottles. He's gathering up everything. She said, you'd have thought y'all was going for a week. But she said from then on, every weekend, we went wolf hunting up until I was probably 10 years old. And then there got to be too many roads and highways, and our dogs was getting ran over. But after the wolf hunting came the deer hunting, the squirrel hunting, and we've always hunted. Sorry, y'all, I'm puffing like a freight train tonight. I wish it hadn't been so close to the holidays. But Yeah, I'll do a remembrance video of him. It may take me a week or so. I've been looking for a certain picture that Mom had on her wall in the old house. It was in my dad's bedroom. It was him when he was probably about 10, 12 years old. And he was in some of those little bibbed blue and white stripe, the little blue and white ticking. We called them engineer overalls. I was wanting to take that picture and have copies of it made for me and my sister. We can't find it. I'm sorry, Joe. Oh, my dad loved the holidays. That was his favorite time of the year. My dad's like me. He likes to eat. Our saying is, we don't know if we eat to live or live to eat. We like food. Yeah, Patty just lost her husband this year, too. All right, Joe, love you. I'm sorry. But yeah, we always say we don't know if we live to eat or eat to live. But I think we live to eat. Because we like food. And I'm going to be honest with you, there wasn't much food we don't like. And if we really didn't like it, we might take 2 or 3 more bites just to see if our first impression was the correct one. How many of y'all have watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? If you haven't watched it, go watch it, because I'm going to guarantee you George Clooney had to have invoked the spirit of my dad in that movie. Because so many actions in that movie was my dad made over. When he's up on that stage and George Clooney starts that dancing across there, my dad did that constantly. And it was way before that movie ever came out. And if you look at that movie, yeah, Dapper Dan. But if you look at that movie, and when I show you pictures, you're going to see a big resemblance of George Clooney and my dad when my dad was young. But he had to have invoked the spirit of my dad to make that movie, because that's exactly how my dad acted. When Dad was younger, he never had a hair out of place. He always had that crap greased down. Except my dad used what they called Brylcreem. I remember that horrible smell of that stuff. Your dad was the same way. And I'm going to tell you what, Dad told me to go brush my teeth. My mom was in the hospital. I was like 3 or 4 years old. So Dad was having to take care of me, and he'd say, go brush your teeth. I went in there. Mama had always fixed my toothbrush for me, y'all. And I didn't know. I got my toothbrush out, and there's a tube there. I squeezed that stuff on that tube and went to trying to brush my teeth. I went in there to my daddy. I was gagging. He said, Pooh, brush your teeth. I said, shook my head no. And I was holding my mouth real funny. And he goes, what in the world have you done, child? And he went in the bathroom because he picked up that toothbrush and there wasn't white stuff on it. It was kind of clear. And he smelled of it. He said, oh, Lord. He went in there. He said, Pooh, which tube did you use? And I pointed, and it was his Brylcreem. He said, well, I hope this stuff don't kill you. He went to rinsing my mouth. He made me rinse my mouth and spit. Rinse my mouth and spit. And he was getting ready to go see my mom at the hospital. And I had long hair. And Dad, he wouldn't brush it. And it was right at Christmas time because Santa Claus was at Gibson's grocery store. Well, I went in and they was taking pictures of kids with Santa Claus, and I had on my little purple coat. And my Aunt Betty told him, said, we're doing pictures with kids with Santa Claus. She said, bring Pooh over there. And she said, we'll get a picture. He said, her hair's a mess. And Aunt Bet, she said, well, I can't get to my purse to where I can get a comb. Dad just took the hood and threw over my head and set me on Santa Claus's lap. Oh. I remember getting to the hospital, my hair being such a mess, and my mama, oh, she is upset. She said, J.E., why didn't you brush that baby's hair? He said, how was he put it? He said, oh, fart, Carol. He said, we ain't going out to impress nobody. And she said, get over here. She said, you look like a little ragamuffin. My clothes didn't match. He just reached in the drawer and grabbed stuff. It was quite the scene. And I can prove it. I got a picture of it. Her mama has a picture of it. Oh. But he asked me here not too long ago, he said, I want you to promise me something. And I said, what's that? He said that you'll get cattle back on that land. I said, I will eventually, Daddy. He said, well, you need to, so I gotta get my fences fixed, y'all, and get some cattle back out here. And my first bull I get, I'm gonna name it J.E. But I only remember my daddy busting my butt. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Red. I only remember my daddy busting my butt one time, y'all. And let me tell you, it was a butt busting to remember. It was Saturday morning. I was watching Scooby-Doo, and he told me to go fill a tank with water. Instead of saying, Daddy, can I wait till a commercial? I said, wait till a commercial. Y'all, he lit my butt up. And he said, you ain't mouthing me, child. He got a switch off that tree, and he commenced to go into town on my legs, on my butt. I had 32 marks on me because I counted them. But you know what? If my daddy asked me to do something after that, I blame sure got up and done it right then. I didn't ask to wait. I got up and done it. And Mama says that he slapped my mouth one time. I don't remember my daddy ever raising his hand to me, other than that spanking. But let me tell you, I never wanted another spanking. Not from him. My mama busted my butt every day. That was a ritual at my house. But my daddy, I only remember him spanking me that one time. But so what are y'all's plans for tomorrow? I know Trine, bless his heart, he's probably got to work. Your dad never... I only remember my dad spanking me that one time, and I deserved it. Now, my mama lit my butt up every day. That was a family... That was just routine. Probably sleeping all day. But we gotta go... We gotta get up tomorrow. My daddy only spanked me that one time, but from then on, I mean, usually Daddy, all he had to do was just look at me a certain way. Or say poo in a certain tone. And that was it. I was up, I was doing it. Coming to fix your what? Ah. Oh, now my mama, She was one of them. It didn't matter what was within her reach is what you was getting spanked with. It didn't matter if it was electrical cord. It didn't matter if it was a board. It didn't matter if it was a belt. It didn't matter if it was a fly swat. It didn't matter if it was a shoe, and it didn't matter if it was a garden hose. Whatever was in that woman's reach, she would spank you until she seen blood coming. Once she seen blood, she stopped. But she had to see blood. And that's one reason I told my kids, I said, 3 swats and that's it. We may have, but once Mama seen blood, that was enough to suffice her. But, Mama had a few anger issues. I think I was the anger issue. I was a pain in the ass. Evidently. But, now Dad one day he got home, he was upset after he seen me. He always griped at Mom on how she whooped. But she had told me to go water the chickens. Me and my friend, we went and watered the chickens. Anyway, when she went out there that afternoon, there was no water in there. She come in that house and she liked to beat me to death. Anyway, it was hot. I mean, it was a really hot summer day. And I seen the time, so I ran in. Because she had told me to go to my room. I went to my room, and I seen what time it was. I put on a long sleeve shirt. Dad walked in the door. He kissed Mom. He said, "Where's Pooh?" And she told him, she said, "She's in her room." She said, "I had to blister her you-know-what today." And he said, "Why?" So she told him that I didn't water the chickens like she had told me to. Anyway, he come in my room, and here I was in a long sleeve shirt, had my hands up under the sheet, had my legs up under the sheet. He goes, "Pooh, what in the world are you doing?" I said, "Nothing." And he pulled those covers back. My arm was swelled up in black because when Mama spanked you, she didn't care where she hit. That belt had wrapped around my arm several times, busted the blood veins in my arm, turned my arm black. I had cut marks on my legs from the belt. And Dad looked at me. He said, "Pooh, why didn't you water the chickens?" And I looked at him and I said, "I did, Daddy." He said, "Mama says you didn't." I said, "I did." I said, "You can call Randy and ask Randy, because Randy helped me carry the 5 gallons. Because Randy got on one side of the 5-gallon bucket. I was on the other side of the 5-gallon bucket. We carried it out there. And we watered them." he called Randy, and he said, Randy, he said, did Dane water those or did Pooh water those chickens today? And he said, yes, sir. He said, we watered them. He said, but Miss Weeks said we didn't. And he said, we did. He said, Miss Weeks seen us fill the bucket. And Mama said, well, they didn't water them. She said, because those pans were bone dry at 2 o'clock. And she said, I had to water them. So Dad walked down to the chicken pen, and guess what? The pans were bone dry again. Come to find out, the pans had a leak in them that none of us knew about. And he come in that house and he said, I thought you said you watered them. She said, I did. This is the only time I remember my daddy ever corrected my mom in front of me. He grabbed her hand, he drug her down to that chicken pen. He said, those pans are bone dry, or that pan is bone dry. She said, well, I watered them, and he looked at her and he said, that baby did too. So Dad poured water in that pan, and he got to watch, and there was a leak in that pan. He said, well, Top, this thing is rusted through, no wonder. And he told her that day, he said, are you ready for your ass whooping? And that's exactly how he put it to her. And she just looked at him. And he told her that day, he said, you ever hit that child like that again? And he said, I will divorce you. And he made Mom come and apologize to me. You know, for years I hated chickens. I didn't want nothing to do with them after that beating. But now I love chickens. But that's the only really bad experience I remember my mom and dad ever having. It's okay. It made me a better person. That was the day I swore that if I ever had kids, it would be 3 swats, and that was it. And that's what my kids got. It was bend over, touch your toes, and don't want to hit nothing but that bobo. And you know, anyway. But you know, my dad had done some things that I found out later. Mom had every right to be angry about. And I was the closest thing to take it out on, so I've come to peace with that. And now me and my mom, we're very close. We've been close now for... After I turned about 17 years old is when me and my mom got really close. But I'm going to be honest with you, I thought up until then my mom hated me. Now, my dad wasn't no saint. But he was my dad. So, And he was dearly loved. And he loved us kids. Man, I just noticed how filthy that carpet is. I gotta get the shampoo and some carpet. It don't look that bad sitting here, but you see it on camera and it looks horrible. But me and my mama, we're really close now. But I'm gonna be honest, when I was growing up, I thought that woman hated me. But it was just her and Dad was going through some issues that I didn't know about, and I looked like my dad, so it was just a little easier to take it out on me, you know? The way I see it, things could have been a lot worse. Alright, night, Patty. Love you. Yeah, I need to get off of here. I've took up too much of y'all's time. So. But y'all remember the world's a better place because y'all are... Let me flip that camera around. Y'all remember the world's a better place because y'all are in it. Don't ever, ever, ever forget it. And I love y'all, each and every one. Bye.